seedy lifestyle. Why professional wrestling is the perfect form of entertainment. Yes, we talk about comics. Yes, we talk about actors. I just like travel hubs. Like, I like airports, bus stations, shit like that. I just like them.
At the most basic level of fame, you constantly have the option to get licked.
Marley died doing what he loved to. He will tell you I'm a bad driver, but there's no evidence for that. I have intuition, and I'm deep in this. Dude, people fall for absolute monsters on a regular basis.
Plug it in. Hey, guys.
All right. Hey, how's it going, guys?
How's everybody doing?
Welcome to the Two Hippies, One Drunk podcast. I am this week's host, Scott. Thank you so much for checking us out. If you have not yet liked our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube, subscribe to our iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, any of that. If you want to do it, it helps keep you updated, brings you weekly episodes, and also it helps us out and helps us grow our audience. This show is a little different than most in that we rotate hosting roles each week between two of my longtime friends. Me, Scott Ryan, got Tyler Charles over here, and Eric Fady as well. And once again, this is Two Hippies, One Drunk, and how you guys doing?
You know what? Just real quick off the bat, one thing I realized that we've never referenced on this show, and like at all, is that I mean, people can tell that we're obviously not in the same room, but we haven't even referenced the fact that like you guys are in Colorado. And
yeah, that's
like
true.
Not to be weird,
but
we
in the same state at all.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like it matters, but it's just weird to me that we're in our 5th episode and we haven't even referenced that we're not in the same state.
Yeah,
yep.
For real. Well, it's one of those things. It's like, I mean, how does that really come up?
It doesn't.
Much? Yeah,
it doesn't.
You have to bring it up yourself.
Well, no, you're right. It doesn't, and I think maybe it didn't matter at first, but I think now that I feel like more comfortable, like I said, this is like being 5 episodes in. I just felt like it was something kind of funny as you were saying that to mention. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so this week I wanted to do a tarot reading for you guys. Woo. Doing yours on love, Eric, and then Joe said, "Yeah, like we'll get into it. It'll be interesting."
Oh boy!
And then
am I going to be fucking like find some truth about myself that I don't want to know?
I'm legitimately blanking on the question.
Just try not to cry on the podcast.
Yeah, that might be a part of it.
That'll be the biggest thing.
I brace myself for that inevitable thing.
Right. And then Tyler, what was your question exactly? We decided
it was essentially like what
strengths to lean into
in the future.
Okay.
See, there was somebody who knows a little more about this. Let me say one thing. So I have one time I did pay for one of these to be done, but it was at like the Renaissance Fair. I don't know when it comes to this level of like, is it? I don't know what you call it. I know I don't. It's not an art, I suppose. It's not religious though. Is it or what is it?
Say it's an art.
It's a practice. It's an art. Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
So I don't know what level of like you know what I mean. The good ones are. I paid $20. It was at the Renaissance Festival, and I would say this. I'll say this. I don't know if this counts, and you guys can ask. You guys can tell me if this counts or not. At the time I laughed about it because she was like, "Oh, you're questioning your career right now," and she was right. There was something happening where I was kind of on a little bit of a thing, and then she said,
"When was this? How long ago was this?"
Oh, fuck. Like 2000. I mean, I was doing the Detroit cast, but it wasn't. I don't think I was making money yet. Doing the Detroit cast.
So you were still like an intern, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. And so that was kind of right. And so here's where I don't know like how things work. But she said, don't worry about it. You're gonna do okay, and you're gonna start making money. And she said you're actually not only gonna make money, but you're gonna make so much money that you're gonna be giving it away. Now.
Was it accurate?
Yeah, was it?
Well, here's my question.
You've given some money away. You've done things.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to do this in a self, flexing way here, but I think it's relevant. Like,
why are you literally back on the stream?
Yeah,
like, I can see.
Yeah, I can see you right now.
I'm a very visual person, but
like, do you think?
would you think that that counts? I mean, getting to the point where a podcast was doing well enough that we did charity events and I was the focus of a charity drives that gave money away. Do you think that that would count as her getting it on the head?
I wouldn't say that's wrong. Like, she got it right.
If she had said that to me, she would have been wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
I would have been like, dude, I'm constantly broke. I'm never.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, what's weird is the weird part of that. And when we went through this, when we were doing some of these charity drives, like in the end, like I was like, dude, we just gave away more money than I've made in the last 3 years. So like, I was driving a shit car and giving money away, so I didn't know.
Yeah, so technically,
she's right. Very accurate.
And
I will say, okay, my experience being in a lot of tarot groups is somebody charging for it does not mean they know what they're doing, but she sounds like she did. Yeah,
she was pretty on it. Anyway, okay.
But what I want to hear about is your amateur tarot experience.
It was
you told me last week, yeah.
It was from just a kind of a friend, hippie friend or something. And I would say, when they were done on me, overall, I felt like they were pretty accurate of like how a person I was. I mean, at times, I don't know how they're supposed to go, because at times I'm like, well, I don't think that really describes me. But then there'd be something where I'm like, oh, yeah, that's fucking me.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I feel like there is this thing, like a lot of people, like those kind of amateur, they're hippie. They feel like, they have a deck of tarot cards or whatever. Like, I see there's so many people who will be like, oh, yeah, dude, I use my intuition. I look at the pictures and I know. And it's like, dude, it goes so much deeper than that. Like you've got to understand astrology. You've got to understand the Kabbalah. You got to there's so many different ways these cards connect.
Yeah.
Now one thing.
Numerology. It's a big one.
I was gonna say before you say anything, it's real simple or like quick. My experience with tarot, honestly, is with Scott. Like, I've been to a magic festival and like we didn't do any tarot stuff there. Like, really, it has been him. And honestly, the stuff that I've experienced with him, it's like that. It's true. It's always it really is so true.
Eric's like, I was counting on it just being bullshit.
All right, I was ready for him to say some terrible things about me, and then you guys, that's just crazy. That's your fine.
No. Yeah.
I have just a few questions real quick too before some of this. So, for example, I know I'm not gonna, but for one, how would you how close is tarot card readings to quote unquote like a fortune teller, like telling future? Does it fall?
Okay. This is kind of getting like, man, I've been thinking all week about how to describe some of these things, because you don't want to get too into the weeds with magic theory and all of that and everything. But generally speaking, there are energies around you, there are paths you're heading down. And that stuff, any fortune telling, like somebody who says they can read it on your palm, somebody who throws sticks on the ground or reads tea leaves, tarot, looking at clouds. If you know how to do it, all of those things, in my opinion, they work.
Oh, okay.
But you have to.
I'm laughing. I thought those were the joke examples.
I knew he was going to go with like, actually, no, they're actually.
It's funny because he's giving these real things, and I just picture some dude throwing sticks on the ground. I'm like, that is funny.
But if you can read it, man, you can read it. Like,
yeah. Can you throw any sticks on the ground? You have to be in a mindset.
You have to know what you're doing. I mean, like, you can't just because that's the thing with tarot is.
I'm sorry.
Like, no. You're not. Please laugh at it. It's insane.
I'm so I'm so not a disrespectful person. It's just I'm just trying to see some of the humor in it, but I'm not at all disrespecting what it is.
No. But it is. It's you have to know what you're doing. Like, that's the thing. Is it's like. You have to be like keyed into that. Like, dude, like I meditate every single day. I do
right
for like an hour and a half every single day. Like,
Jesus Christ,
he does.
Yeah, he knows, man.
I hear him in there. I hear him
like yelling Hebrew and Latin throughout
after your job, and you just hear like whoa, 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 and not just doing a ritual in there.
Wow. Well, that's cool. No,
The
reason I asked was like, and again, I don't talk to people who do this, so maybe I only hear the rare people that like, I got a reading or I got blah blah blah, and it's like, it seems like I never actually hear someone say, like, I went to somebody and they said, well, you're gonna die next year. It's always just like very much kind of like, and I don't even hear that much negative usually. Like, honestly, I don't even usually hear people say now maybe they're just going to fucking, dime store ones where they're not giving real advice, but it's always just kind of like, you will be facing a challenge in the next year. It's like, oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Right.
I'll be on the lookout for a challenge.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, and it is one of those things, like cold reading is a real thing where there are definitely con artists who know how to do that shit, know how to speak vaguely and all of that. But it's funny to me, like, okay, like when people talk about astrology and shit like that, like a lot of people will say that where they're like, oh yeah, it's just like super vague and it could apply to anybody. It's like, yes, that's true. You can find some astrology that will do that. Your sun sign astrology shit will do that. You know somebody who knows how to read your chart and they will fucking reach into your soul. Like, it is a
why is it, without getting too deep, why as I've grown older, I'm not like a skeptic of necessarily anything, but I'm also someone who, I'm like but I'm not. And so, like, without getting too deep into it, why does it matter where the stars were when I was born? And the follow-up question would be, if it matters so much, then can I do anything? Why does it even matter knowing? Like, if the stars tell me I'm a stubborn asshole who is selfish, can I fix that? Because I thought that if that's how I am, or
yeah, okay, those are two great questions. Okay, like the first question, okay, you have to understand, like, most people view, okay, we think of reality in general. Modern science will tell you reality is objective reality. It's this table is in front of me. This thing, I can touch it. I can, like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's the mentality of what reality is in science. You talk to a crazy person will tell you it's all subjective. It's all in your mind, like, whatever. Truth is, in my opinion, is it's both. The only way we experience reality at all is through our sense organs. Only through your taste, touch, sound, smell, and feel, or whatever the fifth one is. There we go.
Wow, I'm ready for this reading.
Yeah, right. He really knows his stuff.
This guy fucking knows.
What
can't remember all 5 senses.
Maybe you should spend some time meditating on the 5 senses.
And I forgot sight too.
I know, right? You're looking right now at me.
Right. But no, it's like it's one of those things where it's like our entire experience of reality is where those two things meet, where our subjective sense experience and hard objective reality. And so the idea behind astrology, the reason why where the planets are when you're there matter, when you were born, and all of that matter, is because there's the Hermetic principle of as above, so below. So we hold the universe inside of ourselves. And half of your reality is controlled by your subjective experience. So because there are different forms of astrology too that don't always match up. And my personal opinion on that is, you get somebody who does Western astrology, then Western astrology is going to be true for them because that's defining half of their reality. If you do Vedic astrology, same thing. If you don't believe in any of it, then you're just not going to tap into that stuff.
Gotcha.
But it's tapping into something real, but you're no matter what.
This might be you might not be able to answer this question, but it just hit me as you said that. If you said, if you believe it, you'll tap into this. If you don't, is it, when you say believe it, do you mean believe it as in faith, as in God? Or like, if I just tell you I'm willing to listen to this, you know what I mean?
Both.
Okay.
For sure.
So if I don't really believe what you're telling me is true, it's not really going to affect, I won't absorb it, I guess.
I'd say if your mind is open to it at all, it's going to hit you on some level.
Okay.
And if your mind's completely closed to it, then it won't. And then for your second question, like, we have human will. Like, nothing is necessarily set in stone about the future. anything predicting the future, any divinatory medium is going to it's telling you the path you're already on.
Right.
And you always have the ability through your human will to change that to a certain degree.
Yeah, that's I will say, we don't get too much into it, but I certainly over the past 10 years or so have really developed that kind of like, you are where you're supposed to be. But like I always say, but like with a sense of like, having said that, like I could decide to drink 30 beers tonight and get in a car and kill somebody, and that's going to change the path I was, I was going to be on.
Yeah,
and that is in your power to do.
Yeah,
right.
You can absolutely do that. Like you could, if you like, get in that car, fucking slam that speedometer, and just drive right into somebody.
But that
I think you slammed the gas pedal.
The gas pedal, yeah, man. Sight, gas pedals, man.
Right.
Yep, he's so absorbed with other information that like he's like Sherlock Holmes. Like he doesn't know how many planets are in the universe, but like
actually, what is it? 8 or 9?
Tyler told you I was a bad driver last week. I've been trying to use the speedometer.
Very true. That is a good point. I don't know. Do you want to get into this now, or do you want to?
Yeah.
Are we doing me or Tyler first?
I'm gonna do you first.
Oh boy.
Might as well.
All right. So your question was essentially about like your.
Should I make it more specific? Is that specific enough? I don't know.
That's specific enough, right?
That's probably.
Plus, I thought it'd be pretty entertaining.
So you're doing past, present, and future.
Yes,
so
3-card reading, past,
spread.
present, future.
I've lived quite a interesting.
I don't know as much like anywhere near to what Scott knows. He tells me a lot, so
yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Tyler's around when I'm rambling about it all the time.
Yeah, and all the tarot cards are pretty dope, and I'm into art, so
right.
I'm definitely a fan.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just a second, I gotta shuffle it a little bit more. So
we'll make some little chit chat here.
Yeah. How's it going, Eric? How's your day going?
Going good. How about that local sports team? Am I right?
Yeah. Red or blue?
Actually, what time is it right now? By the way, while we're working on this whole spiritual thing and stuff, I just want to send it out into the ether that if Purdue men college basketball want to beat Maryland tonight, that'd be great. I don't have any money on the line whatsoever. So anyway,
why do you even
excited? Yeah, why? Just for the
because I have money on the line.
Okay. So you really do have money on the line.
5 to win 19 or 10 to win 20. So.
Yeah,
okay,
not a lot of money.
So the way I want to do this too, I was thinking about, because it's being a podcast and it being an audio medium.
Right.
I want to pull the tarot card and then I want to show it to you and I want to have you describe it.
Okay.
And then
let me see if my eyes are terrible, and I'm like, so we'll see if I can.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Seriously, we all have glasses.
And I'm gonna fucking sit here like a moron.
Okay, so this one is for your past.
Shit. Let me.
Is it possible to see it? Is it too hard?
Yeah, a little bit. It doesn't look good to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It looks like kind of like a firestorm or something, but
it doesn't look.
This represents your past.
It does look like a fair representation of my past, from what I can tell.
I'm gonna help you.
Why do you describe? I hate to say it, I just can't see it as well.
Yeah. Go for it, Tyler.
It has a tiger and a person connected together with like a fire swoop going up and a little pillar with more fire on it. And the whole thing kind of feels very fiery and like just a lot of like energy.
I don't even think I even need Scott's interpretation. I think that's dead on.
Okay.
Right.
That's good enough. Like,
it's actually not terribly off, to be honest. Pretty okay, because this is a Princess of Wands. And like, it's a court card, and your court cards kind of, they're all two different forms of energy. Like, she would be like the earthy part of fire. And like, the general idea would be it's kind of fire manifested on Earth, which in a more practical sense would be like, honestly, like I've said to somebody before, like that it kind of captures most people in their 20s or whatever.
Yeah, I guess it could be.
And
like what? Fire energy is just like What is that?
It's reckless, it's passionate, it's fast moving. It's
that's a perfect representation.
Yeah, I would say that would fit pretty well.
Burning through your 20s.
I can't believe I'm alive, to be honest with you. But
yeah, neither can this card.
And when I think about your past love life, man, I remember when we used to do stand up together, and you would be like, watch me get rejected by a dozen girls at the bar.
And
tonight.
you would do it. You would go up to like almost every girl at the bar and then
just I used to, I mean, like,
other than get away.
I think it was right before I knew you guys. But I would do like, there was that obviously a show that we all know that we both three know very well, the Sunday Funnies. And
represent.
If my buddy Ty couldn't come with me, I would, like, you're right. Like, I once went to the Bob in Grand Rapids, and I just hit on every fucking girl in the bar by myself, to the point where I got kicked out. And then I walked to the exit, and then I'm just like, that guy ain't over here. And I just walked right back in through the entrance and started hitting on girls again, and got kicked out again.
Was it in your purple Hulk shorts?
I forgot about those.
With the zipper constantly down.
Yeah, on purpose.
No, that was on purpose. No, I don't know what I was wearing, but I will tell you that my line the entire night that night to girls, because when I'm by myself, I'm not good looking. I have no confidence whatsoever. But like, so my only hope is that I can make them laugh, and then something can happen from there. So literally, I always remember that night that like my line was, "You may not know to look at me, but I do my own laundry."
And that didn't work. You weren't just slamming ass left and right.
Most of my lines work in the sense that it does break some ice. But the problem is, I'm so
bringing joy to people.
I'm so awkward after that I don't. I always said about me, my biggest problem was, and if it matters, being 36, I almost said 37, but I'm close. Being 36 now, I don't care as much as this notion of closing the deal. Like we talking here, did you close? You know what I mean? Looking back at it now, I couldn't do that. I just didn't have that ability. But they had to really be into me also. Like I couldn't.
Yeah.
I just didn't have this alpha male kind of like, let's take this back home or something. Like, so I could get in and I could talk to girls but anyway. So probably pretty fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally a girl on fire. It's what it is. Just burning those bridges. Just going.
Actually, well, yeah. Yeah, fair, very fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so for your present, you got the Two of Cups, which. All right, I'm gonna hold it up here for you.
Okay, I'll try here. Let me get in here.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me what you see in that awful, not good.
Okay.
Computer thing, and you might be dead wrong.
It's like there's these two cups down here, and then there seems to be a fountain with it flowing.
Yep.
Somehow into both of them, I guess. And
there's fish. It's in a lake. There's a lotus flower. And
don't even get me started on lotus flowers.
And it is literally like all the cards have nicknames in the suits at least, and that was literally the Lord of Love.
Love.
And like the thing about it is, dude, this is really like spot on for what your recent present has been, because
would that suggest that I still am?
Yeah, to a degree. But
yeah,
also,
that's very fair.
Also, here the thing about twos is they are the moment when, like, if you get into numerology and stuff, a two is the moment when you start, like, when something starts to manifest, but it doesn't really fully manifest until, like, honestly, the 4. It gets closer in the 3. So,
gotcha.
Like, it is a thing.
So, like, I'm in the middle of it, right? Kind of like not at the worst part of it, but not almost near the end.
Well, I would say more so it's probably describing like I think about that you were in a relationship not that long ago that didn't fully manifest.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And then it kind of like it petered out before it could fully.
Why does that represent that?
Because the twos always are something still being kind of formed in the act of creation. You think about
so it's not like fully formed. Is 3 fully formed?
Nah,
what number would
four.
be
Four would be something fully entering the realm of matter, which like that's more of like in a higher sense. So on a lower sense, like it would be basically
Hey, let me ask you this, because
manifested.
Yeah.
Okay.
These have both been, I mean, pretty on the number. Honestly, as we've I would say basically is almost as real as you can get from your interpretation of it. When you're doing this, do you ever, I mean, short of, I guess, like you said, a person who's not open-minded at all to acknowledge things, I mean, and maybe if you pick something really bad, like my lord, you know, I don't know what the future is going to show there, but like if you pick something where you're like, you're telling me this, and it's almost like I'm legit, like, you know, I'm almost fighting it, but like short of someone fighting it, short of someone not being open-minded to it, do you ever pick something that literally just doesn't, the person like, dude, that's not right at all? And does it always kind of roll in?
I've never seen that.
No.
Like, no.
Okay.
I mean, not to brag, but I get a lot of like, dude, like I didn't expect anything from this, and that's actually pretty spot on. Like,
yeah. And no matter what, like I always come from a place when he does this for me, it's like these things. I'm not fully on board with all the magic stuff, or fully not on board with it. But like I understand that these things, you're supposed to like see these things in your life, and it's a good reflection of what's going on in your life, because you kind of take that in and go, okay, how can I use this to better myself? And it honestly, I've always viewed these as like a good way of getting advice, or like understanding where I'm at in my life.
Right.
Dude,
more than the future.
Yeah, and I will straight up be, like I said, doing ritual, talking to spirits, like fucking, just going hardcore, all of that sort of stuff. And
all around it.
And I always kind of use Tyler as like, okay, has he thought I've gone insane yet?
He literally has asked me that. Like, he's like,
have you ever said yes?
Like have you ever? No, because I personally feel like this magic stuff, like what he's gotten into, is an insanely good thing for his life, because it gives him structure. It gives him so many things that, like, in his 20s, like you and me, have, like, done a bunch of crazy shit, but never got anything really substantial out of my 20s.
Right.
And, like, needed to learn some things. And I feel like I'm finally learning them in my 30s. And he's going through that. And this stuff is giving him more confidence and better, like, understanding of the world around him than he's ever had in his entire life. I think this is an insanely positive thing for Scott.
Yeah. We're also, sometimes you're gonna have to do the you have to do an actual, like, I want to know my real like astrology shit or whatever. I'd like to know that.
Dude, I want to do your guys' charts so bad one of these days.
We will. We
got to do that.
Sure.
That sounds okay. Let's
do future. Oh.
Jesus Christ.
That is not a good way to respond.
Oh, man. Dude, I didn't even mean to. That just...
Why would...
Show him the card without...
Let me just... Let me ask you this. Yeah, that doesn't look good. That looks like a swamp or a forest.
I'm going to describe it.
Some shit.
It is a sword. It is 3 swords.
Oh, shit. I didn't see shit. See, my bad.
With
flowers. It's got a swampy vibe to
like,
it.
It does. It's got like water and stuff. And then it's got triangle shapes. And then they're all kind of penetrating the flower. Which, that sounds... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you, if you were doing this for a non-entertainment base, like we're sitting here, I'm glad that you gave that reaction. It would not be professional, would it, if you were doing a tarot card reading, you'd be like, oh, shit.
You should probably give your reactions on when you do it. Oh, God, no. You should not go anywhere.
You know what? Let's just back it off. Here's your 20 back.
Yeah, you get this energy away from me, dude. Run out.
Jesus Christ. How dare you come down here?
Yeah. No. Okay,
you're putting this on me.
Like, what would Hitler get for a reading?
Get out.
Okay,
what would Hitler get for a card reading if you were to do Hitler's card reading? Like, you know what I mean?
Somebody would be oh, God.
Well, and this is a weird vibe to strike, because, like, a thing I was kind of talking to Tyler about beforehand is, to be honest, man, when you do this just with somebody, no entertainment value, not with an audience, anything like that, it tends to get real deep and real emotional.
Yeah.
And, like, so that reaction would probably be, I don't have a poker face. I probably would have done that anyway.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm not good at that shit either.
Oh, man. Okay, so it's literally, I hate mad.
It's all right. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, good, because it's literally like, it's one of its nicknames is the Lord of Heartbreak. The Lord of Sorrow is another one.
Yeah, I can see all that.
Yeah, the Rider-Waite deck, which is the original. I like my Thoth cards the best. That's another popular deck. But like the Rider-Waite one literally has 3 swords like stabbing into a heart.
Oh, gee. So is it? So do you know? Is it up to interpretation who's breaking the person's heart? Like, is it mine that's getting broken all the time?
Yeah.
All the time.
I would say
this is his path. Like, this is something that could happen in the future.
Currently, right now. But here's the thing. Okay, this is like, let me make it a little bit more positive for a second. The thing with all of this stuff, like I was saying before, is this is your current habits, your current mentality, the road they're leading you down.
Right.
You have the ability to change that. What it's telling you is if you don't change anything, you're going to be in that state of mind for a while. And the thing is, too, when it says future, the great thing about future is it's ambiguous. Does it mean 6 months? Does it mean 10 years? Like,
well, I mean,
all of that is.
It's tough because I think it's unfortunately, I have a philosophy in my life that I'm not saying I'm not going to change it or not, but I live a way that I could see this not changing. Unfortunately, I don't know 100% that I see myself. You know what I mean? Just because I'm not trying to be weird about it, but I just, in the mention of a relationship, like I've never really been in a serious relationship, and I did find out that I liked it more than I realized I would have. But the problem is on my end, on a lot of levels, I'm just, it's not a life or death thing for me. I would like it. It would enhance. I enjoyed it when I was experiencing it, but I'm not, it's not my driving force, at least not right now. Like, I just enjoy doing what I do. And I don't
I think that's a good mentality to have until you find somebody that changes that.
Right. And I'm open to that. I have something coming up in the next, and maybe it could also result the fact that I'm in a position that I want to get into that we can talk about more as these episodes progress. But I'm actually in a position right now where I literally for the next probably year and a half, you know what's funny? I realize I've never actually been single. I know what you mean. I have been my whole life, but like literally I always was like at a bar looking for girls, falling in love with friends that didn't love me or whatever. Yeah. This last little bit, and then and because of like something I have coming up in my future, it's the first time where I've legitimately am not in any capacity. Like I went on trips with my parents this year, and I didn't even fucking think about like, oh, should I go out and try to, meet a girl, or even, I mean, I know he's staying with my parents, but you know what I'm saying? Or like I went on trips by myself, and it's like, so the card might, in reality, it might, it's dead on, in my opinion. I think it's probably right.
But dude, that's the thing I love about you, dude, is you do have the strength and the insight to be like, fuck it, man. Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's good. And honestly, like it doesn't always have to be that way. A lot of things can change that. Like tarot will be a thing that changes with you.
No, yeah. Too, like as an example for myself, dude, I think about like I've been lucky because you can you can get away with it in your 20s, but I've lived a very unhealthy lifestyle.
Right.
I've abused drugs. I haven't exercised. I've done all of that stuff. I would get health readings that would just be dire. Like that. You're going to fall apart.
Yeah.
And I've consciously made choices. Like I started exercising every day.
Right.
I started doing all this sort of stuff. My readings got better.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll follow up in a year here, and we'll see.
See what it's at. It's just the same card.
It might be past his sorrow.
There's like 5 somehow. I didn't even know this card existed.
Maybe past his sorrow, and then the future's bright.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, I was kidding.
You can hope. We can hope.
I'm just kidding I'm kidding for a little bit of entertainment value. But
So what are you gonna do with your newfound depression?
Well, I was already there, so I was already in acceptance of that depression.
Thanks for the information that I.
You know, right? You know what's funny about that? When you reach a level of acceptance of that, honest to God, it's so weird. My days are very bizarre because I just don't fucking care.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I've been alone for so fucking long. And I only had one actual, real relationship my entire life. So it's funny when you're like, when you went 35 years, 36 years without it, it is what it is.
Yeah. You already know you've had 35 years to get used to that. And
this is a natural bounce back. Like that is the regular progression of things. You get into a relationship, it fucking blows up, and things don't go well for a while.
And then it goes back to
then a fucking goddamn pandemic happens, and what?
And you'll never see a woman again.
Dude, seriously, man, this pandemic.
If you're single, it is not fun. It is a rough.
A lot of Pornhub. All right.
Too much Pornhub. Okay, you want to do mine?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So my question.
What are we asking again?
I'm asking what of my what did you say?
He picked an easier one than you.
Yeah,
I know. I went for one that I knew would be a little.
Yeah, it's fair.
Plus, I actually did want to know what it would say.
I cannot remember for the life of me. It's like
your strengths, kind of. Like
what strength should I lean into?
To lean into.
Yeah, what strength should I lean into? All right. Hey, Eric.
Hey. I was gonna say, go ahead, Bam. Talk about something for the love of God. I gotta take a minute.
This goddamn pandemic. No.
Dude, date like being single during the pandemic. Like,
honestly, yeah, it's the worst.
Dude, coming from,
they're still texting you.
No, Tyler.
Why am I talking to anybody?
I'm not trying to make this about me here, but when you talk about that idea, like you talking about a dude who went from like. never being, like the fucking this moment of like the happiest he's ever been.
Through the pandemic. And then it's like, we came out here like
I didn't even want to see my parents. I didn't want to
before the pandemic, and then just had to.
I can't believe you guys. I look. Me and Tyler have talked about this, but obviously off the show before. But like, it never really struck me until one time when you were talking that you guys. Like when you guys moved from Grand Rapids to Colorado, like obviously it didn't strike me at the time because no one thought about it. But it was only like I always think of weird things of like that something is hurtling towards us at times in our life and you don't know it's there yet. Yeah. And the reality was it was like you move in like August, end of August, and in a few months. Over in Wuhan or whatever, like it's starting. This thing is starting. That's going to change, and you guys just chose this time to move.
It's the worst,
dude.
It'll be great for future.
Too. We've literally progressed from like, yeah, this is good. We're moving. It's going to be a new exciting thing. I'm going to do comedy in Denver. Like Tyler's going to go out and meet a bunch of new people. It's going to be a really exciting part in our lives. To like, man, it's going to be a time of like growth and change, and that's not bad. To like. Dude, we made a mistake.
You didn't make a mistake.
It is a diversion of. It is a good thing in certain ways, and it is a really, really lonely, shitty thing in other ways.
Yeah, 100%.
I think those are all really big, though, right? Yeah. Like, I think those are good.
It's the grinding we needed to do the things we've been needing to do.
For sure.
That's what we tell ourselves.
Yeah, I know. A little bit better.
Isn't there a fine line between justifying why things are okay in your head and why they're really
I'm going to justify it till I'm dead.
Right.
I have to believe that my path was already spoken for, and I made the right call. Okay, let's get into these.
Okay. So for the past,
okay,
got this one. Let me show it up here. I mean, they can't see. What does that blurry thing look like to you, Eric?
Oh, fuck. Dude, like, this is like that fucking blot images. Like, what do I see? It looks like a frog or something, to be honest with you.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It is not. I don't think so. I think it's four guys one has a little crown. There's 4 circles, and some like they got a sword, and there's a bunch of circles actually. Now that I'm looking at it, there's more than I thought. But there are 4 men, one with a sword and a crown, and the other ones don't have it.
Yep. Okay, so
what is that? This is for past?
This is for past. It is the Prince of Swords, and like honestly, like it's funny. I feel like it's a thing that you and I definitely both had in common growing up, where like he's air, is like all air energy. And the thing about air energy is that it can be fast and it can be captivating and it can be smart, but it blows away. There's nothing there. There's nothing to hold it on to.
Yeah.
And
no
like
substance.
No substance, exactly. And like I think about like just how, with all of that stuff, like you've always, I feel like with drawing that's changed recently, but prior to that, like I think partly because of my own influence, you would be into like airy stuff. And we would do a lot of like stand-up comedy is very airy.
Because like most of the time before I started doing art, like art is the first time where I'm actually like doing something I created specifically without any influence. Everything before that was me cultivating a group and then doing a thing.
Yeah.
Like it would be like, okay, I want these people to do this with me, and then I'll do it too, as like kind of in the wings. Rather than like, I'm taking the reins. This is my art. This is my thing. I'm going to create this thing. Yeah. And like, I believe that. And so it's saying that like in the past, I relied on that.
In the past, you relied on that. And I feel like that was never a perfect fit for you, but it was something you could manage because you are a talker. You are somebody who engages well with unseen dynamics, with non-material dynamics. You can walk into a room and be like, this is kind of what's going on with different people. These are the different sorts of things I can feel. So it's a thing that you can do successfully, but it's not really super
it's what
fitted
I want.
to you.
Yeah, it's not, it isn't.
Yeah,
I'm not, because it gives me anxiety. It's essentially that aspect of my personality is like what is it? Like an impulse, like a thing I do so that I don't have to deal with an awkward situation. Yeah. Like I'll go into a room and be like, these people are feeling weird, so avoid them and do this so that I don't have to deal with it.
And you think about all of the stuff we did in our 20s, like what do you have from any of it? Like outside of like in an actual like real material sense, like there's no, you do stand up, you fucking like don't even have any recordings anymore. Because Facebook destroyed both of our profiles, both of our accounts. I lost all my stand-up shit, so did you.
So it's gone.
We had an old podcast that's like in the ether now, like it's gone or whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
When you draw shit, it's there.
It exists.
It exists.
Okay, so that's past.
Yep. Okay, so for present.
God dang it. God, look like
have fun
old
with
man
that
in this
one.
fucking thing, dude, and that's God damn it, I still can't find it. You know what? I'm sorry. I can't.
No, there's no. I feel you, man. There is nothing that
you
could
see
really
you couldn't
grab
see
onto
it.
there.
You could. Is it upside down?
Mm-hmm.
Is it upside down?
Oh, see, that's why I couldn't see.
Yeah, that makes sense. So upside right, it looks like actually it's the same thing. It's a reverse image. It's a bird on a pond with a vase and water and like inside of a cool water temple. Yeah, that's the best. And with lily pads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna love, man. Okay, so like it's the Queen of Cups, which first of all, like I love like these weird patterns will come up where like Prince of Swords is air of air, Queen of Cups is water of water, and it's the Queen of Cups reversed. And like, how would I describe? She's the watery part of water, so she's intense, purified emotion. She is raw, unfiltered like emotion. And it's reversed, suggesting it's a blockage, but also saying it's your strength. And I know from many of our conversations that we have had that like you do a lot of the art you do as a way of dealing with those kind of emotions. Yeah. And stuff like that. Yeah. And like it's
so how is it a block then though?
Because you're doing your art instead of directly addressing
the issue.
But it's saying it's a strength. So it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, because I honestly feel like that's true. Like my art is inspired clearly, like past relationship that went to shit, and like it fucking lit a fire in me, and like I feel like that is a positive thing, that it's like a fuel.
Did that have to do with you moving out to Colorado or no?
A little bit. A lot of bit, whatever. Like it happened.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I never really heard the story of why you guys ended up moving out. So
yeah, it's that is definitely a part of it on my end. Yes,
I get it. I get it. Most people probably do shit like that.
Yeah, sometimes you run away from your fucking problems, and then you do a ton of art to get over it. But that makes sense. Okay, well, so that is a good thing.
Yeah, dude, that would totally apply to you too.
I was just sorry, I said that under the breath a little bit. I was like, you're describing my entire life.
Yeah, for sure. If it's funny, I'm not crying.
Yeah, if it was reversed,
yeah,
would that be if it was a strength? What would that mean?
If it was reversed, what are you asking?
What if it was upside right?
If it was upside right,
what would that mean?
It would mean that tapping into all of those emotions and addressing your emotions would be a strength.
Okay.
Whereas this is sort of doing it like not directly addressing it, coming at it from a side angle.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, essentially using all that shit for something else instead of addressing it.
Yeah.
Okay. So my art, that's cool. I mean, it feels, all this stuff is always like, damn. You got
on the same hand though, like, I mean, to me, and I'm not even you guys delve way more into your side. I probably should do some of this work more on some of this shit. But on the same hand, like, dude, people got to do something. Like, I know, I don't actually know when people talk about dealing with stuff. I know there's, I guess, ways of that. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it, but certainly art to me out of, I would imagine out of, the things you could do is probably better out of the other than dealing with it in some professional way, I suppose, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the better ways.
Before that, I was dealing with it with psychedelics and getting fucked up.
Yeah, I would say this is better than that. I would.
For sure. Like, I definitely needed to skew that.
Yeah, like really, when you think about dealing with your emotions, it's like how you do it. You can do it through art. You can do it through drugs. You can do it through directly addressing it. Right. And you can do it through what? Like just turning yourself off and just ignoring
yeah.
Now,
you know what's funny? Like, honestly, and I know the show's called Two Hippies and One Drunk, and I'm the drunk. But honestly, the one shocking thing about me, and I don't know, maybe you guys would know this, maybe you wouldn't. I don't know. But like, I've always done it through art or through like art or finding a project. As much as I like alcohol, I've never used alcohol as a way.
It's a crutch to you. I never felt like it was a crutch to you.
It's always only a fun thing. I always said to people, like, have I had a time or two with, we're like, a girl situation. I'm like, you know what, dude, I want a few beers. And but I've never and so like, I think that me and Tyler are probably pretty similar.
Yeah, no, okay, well, man, I hate, like, if you ever been around a dude who fucking uses alcohol to turn off,
yes,
it's the worst,
terrible.
Man. It's like you're drunk and you're boring and I don't want to be around you.
And you're putting it on me. Like a drunk person doesn't understand like social etiquette. So like they're just like in your face making it about like making you have to deal with their problem.
Yeah. And they either become a detached drunk or an angry drunk. And neither you are a punched in the face.
I don't know how I've avoided, like, honestly, for a person who likes it as much as I do, I don't know how it never became that. I don't know, like, what it says about, and maybe sometime I'll have to talk to you. It might be a little too in the weeds for now. I'd be interested to see what your opinion on that is. But I for whatever reason, I never was that person, even though, like, I legitimately will sit there and, I'll drink till 5 a.m. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm having fun when I'm I'm listening to country music by myself, or I'm fucking, camping and whatever. But
yep,
I believe that. Is there ever any time when you feel like you're not having fun drinking?
Well, like I said, has there been a time or two when maybe, like I said, like I was, a little depressed. I'm like, I just want a few beers or something. Yeah. But but the answer would be like 98% probably no. I always enjoy it. What?
Yeah, I believe that, dude. You were much more like, I'm going to have a few beers and then watch me drink my own pee. I'll do it.
I'm more of an attention whore. I get more. Again, we talk about when Tyler said that card, like, I'm more of a person who does that to cope. I'm more of a person who I want to get on stage or I want to make a dumb video. And that's my way of like dealing with or not dealing with what's going on.
And it is weird. And like, I know this episode probably hasn't been as fun and as joke-filled as some of the other ones, but like, it is funny because I do feel like there's this dynamic between the three of us where a lot of the time we are kind of like middle grounds where like, that's a thing you and I share in common is like, dude, I love attention if I'm feeling down.
Right.
Like, that's my thing. Is like, man, like, let me go, like, seek some attention.
Nah, if I'm feeling down, like, stay the fuck away. I need to.
I don't even know. You know the thing I would say? Oh, finish that.
No, that's all I was going to say.
I would say the weird thing about, and I don't know how Scott is about this. And for me, it's just been since I was a kid. And again, I don't know what psychiatrists would say. I don't know what everything means. Sometimes I don't dig as deep as you guys do. But for me, it's not even just, even when I'm sad, like, it's not just a sad thing. Like, I don't ever feel like what Tyler just described. Now it doesn't. Now I can be myself. Like in the past few years, I've started going on like these solo camping trips, and where I'll go a freaking week and not even essentially talk to anybody. Yeah. But on the same hand, I never ever feel like I don't want it. Like I will always, if it's there, I want it. If people, you know what I mean? Like I never secluded.
And you guys
is Scott like that?
I have such an issue with like I hate like egotistical people and people who honestly actively seek attention in a way where it's kind of grimy and I don't like it. I think that if you
I don't like it like that either.
I think if you do something good, people will come. And like if you do a thing that has some sense of art to it, then you got that audience. But if you're yelling at everyone trying to get it, it's just like, man.
Well, here's an example, Tyler. Like I've been lucky enough that I've been on a really good, podcast that was really decent, had a big following, made some money. I've got, you guys have been paid to do comedy too.
Yeah.
But like, if I go to a party, for example, I love attention. I'm sure I love attention more than anybody in that fucking room. But I despise telling people what I do or that I do comedy or a podcast because I hate that. Yeah. I hate that. Like, if they ask me, I don't even like to tell them. But I want to make people laugh though at the party. But I don't care about telling them who the fuck am I?
Bragging about yourself.
Yeah, I hate that mentality. That. It's so gross to me.
Yeah, dude. It's funny too because like Tyler and I will have that debate all the time where he feels like there is something wrong with seeking attention.
Right.
And I am like, there is nothing wrong. If one person wants attention and another person gives them that attention, that is, in my opinion, 100% like that is a symbiotic give and take. Like, good.
I just can't seek. It makes me feel so grimy. I don't know.
Well, here's a question, Tyler. I have a question because this is a trick. To me, it's a interesting thing. Like, so when you say you hate the idea of anyone seeking attention, whatever, or in a way that's grimy or whatnot. For example, now, like for me, like if I'm at again kind of a party situation, I like making. I do like I won't get in front of 4 people and just start yelling at them. Yeah. But like I'm more of the person in the back. I'll keep making jokes. And then if people start laughing, like I'll realize these guys like my humor, and I'll continue it. But I don't know that I don't go into a party, for example, saying I'm gonna make these people fucking like me and laugh. Does that make sense?
There's nothing more pathetic than somebody who seeks attention and doesn't get it.
Oh, that's the worst, obviously.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Like,
I get it when I seek it. I'll just say that. But
okay, here's the last.
Okay, sorry. We can move on here.
For the future. Wow. Okay, yeah.
What? I got a wow.
Yeah, we both got the wow.
Okay, what do you see there? What do you see here?
Oh, let me fucking.
Good luck.
Oh, it's like some lady in the forest or something.
Yeah, that's more or less.
She looks a little fat.
It's a lady in the forest.
She looks a little fat.
She could lose a few pounds.
You misogynistic bastard.
She could lose a few pounds.
She's got a yin-yang spiral thing. There's trees. And she's got a spear and horns.
Okay, this is the perfect example. Okay, there are 78 goddamn cards in this deck. And this is why I believe in tarot. Because these 3 cards Tyler got are such a perfect pattern because it's air of air, water of water, like earth of earth.
Yeah.
Like there is a 1 in like probably a couple thousand chance that you would get those 3
together.
Court cards. Yeah, 3 different court cards. There's only one card that represents.
I've gotten court cards every single time you've ever done tarot for me.
Yeah,
sorry, back up.
It's because court cards are the hardest ones to read, and I fully believe my deck is fucking with me and forcing me to learn the court cards.
Or is it just because you know Tyler so well that you need
like more
than just basic cards? Or
maybe they are the deepest cards too, a lot of people will say.
Okay, so what is this?
But like,
I want to know.
Okay, what I see there is like this is the perfect like juxtaposition to the past because air of air is insubstantial. It's fun, but it's empty. And earth of earth that's literally saying like your strength in the future will be creating some things with substance, creating things that have right. Yeah, I mean definitely something like that, like an anime, like anything, you know, like your drawings, like when I've written books, I would describe it as that way. The animation that you want to work on in the future, that would totally apply to that 100% because it's something being brought. It is the first of all, it also represents an evolution too, because like the Kabbalah is like a really complicated thing to explain, but this is at the very, very bottom of it. And the thing about that is that it's constantly moves in a circle. So once you hit the bottom, you start back up at the top again. So it represents like an evolution. I mean, it's a good card to get for your future in that essence.
That's cool. Yay!
You son of a bitch.
1 broken heart and 1 happy future.
That's what he gets for fucking actually sometimes working on himself. And
right.
Just a little. I'm trying, man. It's too boring. I can't not.
Right.
I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
You're like, yeah, I'm bored and nothing's happening. We're doing this podcast. Things are changing.
No, dude. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, and the thing is, too, to be fair, Tyler asked a lot easier of a question.
Yeah, I didn't. You literally
positivity built into
you asking the love thing. I was like, Scott, I don't really want to talk about my love life. I don't
you know,
want to get into that.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I kind of like in mind. I mean, I'm not gonna be. I got the answer I was already expecting. so it wasn't. I kind of not taking away from it. I really. So no. I was almost, but I was curious. I was curious what it would say.
No, so, that's always the thing too. Is I do feel like with negative shit with the tarot, it's like, yeah, whenever I get negative shit, I'm always like, yeah, I knew that. Fuck. For sure.
That's hilarious.
Wow, man, this was fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, honestly, this is super awesome. I
do want to do the astrology.
I like it more
at one point too, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everybody for, jumping in and doing this with us and stuff and everything.
Yeah, thanks for the comments, everybody. This shit's awesome.
Yeah, and I know this one probably it turned out a little bit more serious, I was saying.
I mean, it kind of had to, because tarot's a blunt answer to things.
Right.
I don't apologize. I think that it's cool. That's a cool thing about the show that we guys created. It's like it's not the same thing every week. It's not just some standard template. We all bring our own personalities to it, and
I agree.
That's what's cool about it. So fuck that.
Yep. I agree.
Awesome. Okay.
So any final thoughts you be doing? Actually, I guess I should leave that to you because you're hosting.
What are your final thoughts of us?
Doesn't the host go last?
Yeah. What are your final thoughts of us?
What are your final thoughts of us? I'm happy to see what you got, Tyler. I mean, it sounds like you're on the right track with that sort of stuff.
Oh boy. Here we
go. Cool. I'm excited.
And Eric, this is all a ride and it's all temporary.
That is wonderful. That is
what a nice way of wording that.
I feel like getting Eric to cough once an episode is like a task we have to get.
It just hit me, dude. I don't even smoke.
We need a little ding every time he does it.
Right. We need to start measuring the coughs and see who got him to cough.
Yeah.
It's funny because honestly, I don't laugh like that. I did it last week for something Tyler said, and this week for something you said, and I'm not like that guy. You know, the guy like, oh, that guy just always belly laughs or some shit.
Yeah.
But like those two things that it just hit me. You just said that in just the right way. Like, and this doesn't mean it's forever. So
yeah, things can change, but
you stick to it.
Right.
Pal.
But the thing is like about that.
Is this your final thought?
Yeah, this
going
is
into it. Okay.
Okay, I'll do my final. My final thought is woohoo! Things are going good. can't wait for the future.
In this very specific single aspect.
Yeah, I better stay exactly on the track I'm on right now,
Right.
and not divert. But no, I mean, I love that. My thing I want to say is like I love doing this stuff mainly because it is eye-opening. It's interesting. I liked hearing about Eric's stuff too, because it's just like it's this peek into others. And when you do this kind of thing, I feel like it's a cool eye-opening connection with people. And like I like that aspect of it because it's like you get to peek into other people's soul a little bit.
Yeah, and just to add one more thing, like I feel like that's the thing too. People go, "Oh, is it real? Is it not?" Like, yeah, I think it's real. But even if you did not think it's real, the reality is you do it, and then you end up having a conversation that you wouldn't have had. You end up having thoughts that you wouldn't have had. You end up thinking upon things you wouldn't have otherwise thought. So it's like, even
you know what's funny?
in
You have
that
to
specific aspect, like how is it not real in some respect?
Yeah.
How you have to to bring it back to our first episode, how you have to like get those questions and then give those answers. When you were saying that, I only thought about it when you're wording it like that. That is literally how I have to like answer people about wrestling. They're like, it's not real or whatever. And I'm like, well, it is though, but it's not. But it's like, seriously,
totally,
no, for real.
When you're saying that, it's like that's how I answer wrestling. I'm like, dude, it is real though, but it's not. But it is, and whatever. So, okay. Well, do you want to wrap it? Oh, well, is Tyler going to tell us what he's going to do next week?
Ooh, so next week we are going to be doing our childhood favorite cartoons, like anything from your childhood that was like on a.
Can it be? I'll have to talk to you about this, I guess, because I'm interested if it has. Because almost, there is so much cartoons that I've gotten into as an adult more than as a child.
Yeah,
and so I wonder if that.
The thing is if you want to bring up both, that's fine. I was thinking of like at least I'll come up maybe with one that.
I can think of childhood ones for sure.
Yeah,
and then I'll probably have.
I'm going to have to disqualify The Simpsons. By the way, I have to disqualify The Simpsons. It has to be other than The Simpsons.
What? Yeah, I was going to say Scott might have a problem with that.
I was going to say
that's a big animation. That's like mostly.
Nobody. But I'm saying. But my thought is like if we're going to sit here and say like he's like trying to think of one of your favorites as a kid, like anybody that knows me for 1 second knows that I am obsessed with The Simpsons. So I think that maybe I should probably have to pick another.
Do something else that's not.
Yeah, maybe you can do The Simpsons.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I mean, I'm fucking sitting here with my where is it? My Simpsons tattoo over here, and I got
flying hellfish.
I mean, so.
Well, okay, so and then I'll probably do something along the lines of look up some like weird facts about those cartoons, old cartoons. Yeah, so look forward to childhood cartoons. It's gonna.
I want to talk about how Nickelodeon was run by a child molester with a foot fetish.
Yeah.
Never.
That wasn't really a lot of like animation. That's not
Mm-hmm.
animation. That's not cartoon.
You're right. It was more the
that
live
was
action.
the all.
So
that,
you're all that. You're Keaton
Ash,
cows.
what is it? What's the little girls show? The
iCarly?
No, the other one.
Clarissa?
No, the first what is her name? The one. God, it was
Clarissa?
like she was on. Not Clarissa Explains It All.
Okay.
She was on all that. She was a little girl, and
Amanda
The
Amanda show.
Yeah.
Also,
God,
he
Amanda Bynes turned out to be pretty hot.
She turned out okay, right? Amanda
No.
Yeah. What? You don't think she's attractive? Amanda
Does
Bynes?
that mean you turned out all
No,
right?
I mean,
that's all. That's my only measure.
If you're attractive, you're doing okay. Okay, we'll leave you on that.
All right.
See you next week, guys.
Yeah.